Hi everyone, thanks for joining me once again. Yeah, it's been raining the last couple of days, so yeah, there's this pile of debris from the land that needs to be burned, including a tree that my neighbour kindly chopped down for me that was at the edge. So it does look overcast, like it may just rain, but I want to get all this bit done today if possible. Just the edging around these, just neaten them up. I can feel me itching already. Yeah, I'm having to resort to mosquito repellent, which I just try to cover up my legs and things, but sometimes with my arms covered it just gets too hot. Yeah, so I'm going to have a go at doing that, neaten that up. And this is the avocado tree, so I think I might have showed you before. They're just coming on. So yeah. Yeah, so before I get started, yeah, I just wanted to just share what's coming to my heart today. Well, something I've been contemplating on, and that's about, you know, the blessing of following your heart and just your uniqueness. That is a gift. We're all unique, we're all individuals. It's not a one size fits all for any of us, and yeah, no, sometimes I just have to look at, you know, with what the outcome has been, with totally surrendering my heart to infinite creator, to God. It's not something I could have ever imagined. It's a dream that's become a reality, and yeah, because what God has been teaching me, it's just about just follow your heart at all costs. You know, we've all got our own individual fingerprints. 8 billion people on the planet, and there's no two fingerprints that are alike. We're all on our individual journeys, and I can say that from experience. You know, I've gone through the experience of looking to others, validation from others. You know, looking for guidance from, you know, the church, from you know, governments, from your place of work. But there's always, you know, something that's influencing our decisions, my decision. You know, it was life up until 2020, at the start of COVID, which was a blessing, and it's starting to rain. A few drops of rain. Yeah, but COVID was a real blessing. It was my wake-up call. And then, you know, I think at that point, I just thought, you know, it's my body, and if I don't want a vaccination, I'm not going to have one. And, you know, if I can't have a job because of it, so be it. The job's not my source. This is what I was saying to myself. God's my source. And so, you see, when it starts raining, it just tips down. Yeah, I better make my way back in. So, yeah, so what I'm saying is we're all unique. God's got a unique individual plan for every single body. And there isn't anybody really that can really tell you how to live your life. When I followed the narratives of others, I just weren't happy. Just felt unfulfilled. Something just weren't right. So, yeah, we've all got an intuition. You know, God's given us that. We've all got it in a guidance system. Now, for me, I follow it at all costs. Because that's what's giving me my breakthroughs. That's what's giving me my joy. That's what's giving me peace. That's what's giving me a fulfilled life. But when you submit to the pressures of what others think you should do, you're missing out on your dream. When I think about it, I remember my daughter saying to me, you know, like it's a big, you know, a big risk, but it was something that was deep in my soul. It said, it's time, you've just got to do this. So when my daughter said, well, rent for a year and then see how you feel, it's like, no. I'm called selfish because of it, but life is it's about you. It is about, it's about me, you know. I've got to do what's best for me. And in doing so, it just takes you to the place where you want to be. I just see the big, massive difference in my life. You know, the Bible talks about, it says, you know, the spiritual doesn't come first. It's the natural, and then the spiritual. So when I look back, I'm thinking like all those years in religion, in Christianity, in the church, and please hear me good. It's laid a good foundation for me. Yeah, it has, you know, given me a foundation for spirituality, but I didn't feel that there was any evolution. It just felt like I was going round in circles. It all started off really great, and I was on a high and really loving it, but it got stale. It got mundane. And it was always that question was there must be more to life than this. Yeah, I've had to come inside. My arm's aching. A little bit holding the camera like that. So, yeah, there must be more to life. And just putting that question out there, or that statement, you know, God's listening to everything that our heart says, listening to our dreams, is hearing all our frustrations, and prompting us and nudging us to move out of the place that we're at and take that step of faith. Honestly, God, I can't emphasize it enough. Everything that we need, the kingdom of heaven is really within. We can bring heaven to earth in our hearts, and this is where God speaks to us, in our hearts. You know, we've got a physical heart that, you know, if it's not fed properly, or, you know, under stresses and different things can happen, can weaken the heart. And, you know, can end up with a heart attack or heart giving up or people getting in depression, that kind of thing. But then what I've discovered, and if none of this resonates with you, just leave it where it is, but I'm just telling you my experiences and things that I learn, and when I put them into practice, I see that they're working, I see that they're helping. So when I learnt about the chakras, let me just stick to the heart chakra. The heart chakra, our hearts, once it's unblocked, it's in the center of the 7 energies, 7 of the chakras in our energy center, and the heart's in the middle. And when we move from the mind has to come into alignment with the heart to begin to hear and know what it is that God is saying. And that's how I'm receiving my guidance through life. So I do work on the chakras to unblock them, because a lot of the times we can't think clearly, we're just so fuzzy, and life is just one big fog. It's dense. This dimension, the earth, is really dense. And when you begin to connect to the spiritual realm, it's like the veil that was there gets thinner, and you can, begin to understand stuff, but you're not going to get it all straight away. And this is why it's so important to follow your heart and know that we are unique individuals. There's no more. We're reaching that place where the guru, the teacher, the spiritual person, it's us. It's not external. We are the Holy of Holies. We are the temple. We need to go in to bring heaven to earth. We are the ones that create our own hell. We are the ones that have to get out of hell ourselves. Sorry to have to break it to you, but Jesus isn't going to do it, and neither is God. If that was the case, it would have been done already. We have to come to the realization that God is within us. And so God is helping us, but it's about our free will. So we'll get the nudges, we'll get the prompts. When I got the nudge to come here to Jamaica, and how does the nudge come? It's a desire. Oh, I'd love to go to Jamaica. I'd love to go to Egypt. I'd love to live in Spain. I'd love to move to Cornwall. I'd love to, wherever it is. And you might love where you are, that's fine. But that is a cue to say, yeah, go for it. Go for it. And trust God. I know it's going to be hard for people to understand if they don't believe in God. But God does say, try me. God will prove himself. Some of the things that I've thrown out there and asked God, I didn't expect the answer. I never really, from a human point of view, expected that, the dream I had when I was 13, that I want to live in Jamaica, was going to become a reality. I never realised it, but it was something that was deep in my heart. It was heartfelt. And this is how we get our prayers answered. If we ain't feeling it in our heart, in our emotions, in our very being, that's when prayers get answered. you know, God, you know, is energy, and we have to feel the energy. And anything we want out of life, it's like there is a work to do. We have to put in the energy. I you know, even like spiritual. You want to, grow spiritually. I've gone from a place of, oh God, this is like hard work. It's hard work, praying, you just go and do it for do's sake. Well, I've got, tick that box, I've got that out the way. I've done my morning prayer routine and that's it, done what you've been told to do. But it's not really coming from your heart. Anything that's not coming from your heart, it ain't really recognised. It doesn't go to your advantage, really. There are just some things that we just have to experience it. And like I said, everybody is on their own unique path. Nobody knows your experiences in life. Nobody knows mine. And when I've followed everything that's in my heart, well, that's why I'm where I am today. We're creators, co-creating with God, but God's not going to violate our free will. He can't do it. Everything is about our free will, and if we choose to hand over our power and our will to some external forces, they'll gladly receive it. They'll gladly want to rule you and want to control. And when I come to this realisation, it's like, hell no, I'm done. I'm done with that. I'm the master of my own life. I make the decisions about me based on my experiences in life, based on my experiences are because of divine creator. God has put those experiences there. God is the one orchestrating absolutely everything, including the things that we think are suffering. They're not suffering. It's a stepping stone into a deeper realm. It's our that's personal development. That's ascension. And when we don't, a lot of the times we don't take the steps to do the things that we want to do because we're in fear. And fear isn't going anywhere. I've had to learn to just do things afraid. Just take that, that's what courage is. It's doing it anyway, doing it in the face of fear. And I'm no different to anybody else. God really doesn't have any favourites. We are all loved by God. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter at all. God is consistently there, right with us, a thought away, a prayer away. But we, to create the lives that we want, we have to come and meet God. God's always there. Sometimes you go around in circles because, okay, there's a lesson here. I always ask God, when it appears to be suffering, what is it that I need to learn? I've learned that now. Before I was going around in circles, ended up with the same kind of men, for example. You know what I mean? All the same results, all ending in, heartbreak. It's like, God. And I'm the one that's responsible for my life and what I've created. I had to break that cycle. I have to break every cycle. And that's by listening to God. Why, what do I need to learn? God shows me, and basically to change your situation, Denise, you have to change. Not the person. What they're doing is just showing you what you need work on, what you need to work on in your own life. So somebody's, triggering anger in me. It's a reflection of me, not of them. It's a hard pill to swallow. It really was. There was times when I thought, oh God, this is making my head hurt. How is it that somebody's wronged me and then I'm the one that's got the problem then? I'm the one that's got to look at me, and they're the ones that have obviously caused the problem. But no, they're actually the ones that are here to highlight it, to help me so that I can learn that lesson and that I can elevate, so that I can graduate to the next level in terms of spirituality. So yeah, we're unique. Nobody can walk our path. Nobody can tell any of us whether we're doing something right or whether we're not doing it right. It is what it is. We are where we're at. I don't even now, I've come to learn that everything that's already happened in the past, it just was meant to happen. Are you meant to stay in that place? No. It's about reflecting, contemplating, learning, the lessons in every situation. And it's just by living it. You can be going to Bible school, Bible study, the temple, the mosque, the church, following religion absolutely strictly, and there can be no changes at all in your life, in your persona, your character. Everything's just exactly the same. That was my experience. Nothing was changing. I weren't really changing. I was still getting wound up and angry and extremely judgmental. None of that can change a person. It's actually applying it. That's why when Jesus walked the earth, he was the word that became flesh. He was living what he'd learned, what God was showing him, God was putting in his heart, and them taking the 18 years out of his life. Those are some crucial years. All the years are crucial. Why are you taking 18 years of a life out of the Bible of the Son of the Most High God, the one that came to save us? What did he do in the 18 years? Yeah, the Bible says he grew in favour, in wisdom and favour with God. I can't remember it exactly. But that was it. In 18 years. How? And those are the questions I'm asking God. Well, how? Well, they've taken it all out of the Bible, but the information's there. If we want to know it, I've said it before, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. You want to know, you will know. And you'll know more than you could ever have even asked, because we often don't know the right questions to ask. So again, you be the master of your destiny. You're unique. God will guide you. Nobody else can. In fact, anybody else coming and telling me, oh, you shouldn't be doing that or you shouldn't be doing that, you're actually trespassing. And actually, what it does, if I go and tell somebody that this is the way that you need to do something. You can suggest it, and I might take it on board, and I might not. It might resonate with me, it might not resonate with me. If it doesn't resonate with me, I just won't do it. You know, but if it resonates with me, then I'll do it. I'll know that's God. But if it doesn't resonate with me, don't force me. Because if I begin to force somebody to see something the way that I see it through my eyes, guess what? It's going to affect my spirituality. I'm going to start to descend because I've overstepped my boundary. So we don't have to do anything, we choose to. There's no such thing as you've got to do anything. You've got to take this vaccine. No, I jolly well don't have to take any vaccine. I don't have to do anything that I don't want to. You know what I mean? You have to pay this water bill. No, I don't. All depends on God. Thank you very much. There's a lot of things now that, no, I don't need to do that. No, I get the choice. I get to choose. And I choose the divine. I choose to follow divine guidance. It's working. It's a beautiful life. It's one to experience. And, you know, we're all, you know, on our own path at an individual pace. You know, we're not all the same. They say no two snowflakes are the same. There's nothing that's absolutely identical with something else. There's going to be something that's a grain that is going to be different. You know, if you look carefully, remember those games, Spot the Difference, and you can't see it straight off. Well, some of them you can, but you have to look really closely for, there's usually one or two that are so hard to find. So, yeah, that's what I've been thinking about, and the rain looks like it's easing up now, so I'll go out and get a bit done. So I'll see you later. Yeah, so yesterday I had to stop because it rained. It didn't stop raining, so I guess it was rest by force because I could quite easily just get stuck in. So Sunday today, I've been invited to a birthday celebration over the road. I haven't seen many people come yet. It's after 2, but I do want to wash my hair. So I did do a little bit, and this is where I got to. Yeah. So found that really therapeutic. So going with the flows of life. Life's about balance. So instead of instead of pushing things, you know, I get an invite. Just go, Denise. And so I'm gonna wash my hair though. Have me bath and then go. So any time after 3, they said. So it's about 2 o'clock now. So I'm glad. Yeah, got up and got a little bit done, and I'll resume tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah. So I'll keep you updated.